Hey, I'm gonna try and keep this short. It is the filing was over 200 pages, so it will be a little hard to keep it short. If you stick to the end, that'd be appreciated. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting my time here. For one, StockTwits, they have news bots. Bots are real. They exist. It's not just like a term you just use it to call someone that you want to demean. There's really like AI bots that are in the chat and they say shit, they copy shit, and there's also bots that will give you news feeds from filings, for example. So every time you see a filing bot or like 4 or 5 or 6, they'll all spam it. So it's not like it's like super emergency news. It's just they're different accounts and different bots. You don't have to panic. You can Google what are the filings, and there's like a list if you don't know, and you can learn what they mean. 10Q, what is that? What is an what is a K filing? What is an S1? What are these filings? So I would recommend to do that. One other thing I would recommend that you do for all your stocks that you invest in, that you aren't just day trading and getting out of at the end of the day, because that's momentum based. If you are holding a stock, you should go to the investors relation page, bookmark it, and continuously check back for filings. They're going to have their own filings on their own website. So that's your first source. You shouldn't be going to Motley Fool or somewhere else for source. This is your source, is the company, okay? You can do it with the AMC, you can do it with us, whoever. It's your money, and some filings are really bad, and you need to be ahead of it and get out. And like 3 weeks ago, had we known, well, I mean, they released it at, bad example, they released it at fucking 4 in the morning and no one could do anything. But sometimes some people do filings and you get just a quick window of opportunity to get out or get in if it's a good filing, okay? It's just something you should get in the habit of doing. So if you go to their website, click the PDF, you go to page 1, first page. All it requires is reading. It is not all legal jargon. A lot of it is. Page 1. If this form is filed to register additional securities for an offering, please check the box. And the box is not checked. This is not to tell you they are doing an offering. They're not doing an offering. Table of contents. It was like page 2 or something. It also says, word for word, where did it go? No additional securities are being registered under this post-effective amendment. So it's telling you twice in 2 pages. Securities are not. So this whole sell-off in the after hours is to scare newbies who don't know shit, or who only read headlines, who only, if someone in chat says, offering, that's it, they're out. They don't do any investigating, they don't do any DD, they're just whatever. They don't look. So that's what that's about. If this play was dead, we would not be 630. 3 weeks ago, we went from 6 to under $2 in one bar. That would happen if this play was dead. We would be done. We'd be toast. Instead, our SI, after all was said and done today, and throughout the week, it's up 0.06%. On the week, it's at 168.24. I've never seen a number this high in my life. GameStop was never this high. Okay? Last week, we were like 154. So we're up 14%. Our share price is down about 50 cents overall from the start of last week. Well, you know what? Actually, we're down more than that. We started the week at like, if you count, at the open we were 742 on Tuesday. 742, and now we're 632. We're down $1, and they're up 14% SI. And the cost to borrow is way up. It was like 450, 500%, and now it's 817%, 902% max. If a message to short sellers, if you go into the Bronx in Brooklyn there, and you go talk to Louis Kneecap Buster. I don't know any fucking good mafia names. Go talk to the mob boss. They will loan you more money for way less than your brokerages are offering you here. You can get a better rate from your local mob boss. Okay, I would not be paying those rates. In the last 3 weeks, they have paid just under $12 million in interest, and at the current share price of $6.33 times 1.95 million shares, $12.34 million. They could literally own this company, own the shares. Instead, they've chosen to pay interest and fight us, and they still want to fight next week because they haven't closed these positions for a loss. I've accepted losses in trading. I'm sure you have. Why will they not accept a loss here and close out and move on and get a little bit of a tax write-off for losses? Why won't they do that? They're hoping and praying that this deal happens sooner rather than later, and then they can exit. And I don't think it's happening. None of these technicals are saying anything to that effect. One more quick thing on the filing. Okay, it did make a note that they could exercise warrants should the stock price be $18 or more for 20 consecutive days. So it's probably just a cover my A, but it's also kind of a cool thing to think about that they've prepared for the stock price to raise to as high as $18 for 20 or more days, at which point they would exercise warrants. So you would get out before then, probably on day 17 or 18, maybe 19. But that's neither here nor there when the stock price is $6. Just something to make note of. Pretty sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover. So and I am, by all means, I'm not top dog when it comes to these. It's 202 pages and I did not read all of it. I used some special keywords like offering, the word June, things like that, and I kind of sort of skimmed through. Okay, I don't intend to read it all. It's just an amendment as far as I'm concerned. If it was anything super serious, I think the stock price would reflect if in fact it was something serious. What you saw earlier going to $6.15 was scare tactics to newbies or people who just look at people spamming in chat and don't do any DD. And then you saw an immediate recovery and buying of the dip, probably a little bit of covering there at whoever sold's expense. So don't make investment decisions unless you know why you're making those decisions. And one of them would be filings. Make sure you understand what the filing is and how it would affect you. Some are really good, and you could see the price of this skyrocket. Who knows, right? So I look next week. I'm assuming it's going to be more the same. A lot of volatility, random high volume days followed by a shitty, like we only had 8 million volume. That's trash when we had 60 million yesterday. One more thing, actually, sorry, I can't remember if I went over it or not, so I will go over it again or for the first time. We own 617,954 shares according to the tally. That's 218 people responded with a share price of $6.40. We own about $4 million of stock, and that's 31.69% of the float. Okay, thank you if you made it through this far. YouTube's telling me you guys bail out after about 3 minutes, but I don't know how I'm supposed to cover 202 pages plus other crap in under 10 minutes, let alone 3 minutes. So hopefully you appreciate these. And it takes some time out of my day, so I would appreciate if you could at least watch it, put some comments, and in the comments, if you haven't already, let me know how many shares you have so I can add you to the tally. It's all anonymous. Nobody cares that you share that information. It's not illegal to share that information. I own this mouse. I'm not going to go to jail for telling you I own the mouse and I paid 35 bucks for this mouse. Okay? It's all cool. I'm just doing it for our benefit so that we can get hopefully closer to that 100% mark and know in no uncertain terms that we do control the float and we can in fact set the price to a more favorable number. Okay? That's not collusion. That's just looking out for ourselves and changing our futures for the better instead of having to take constant losses because of fraud and manipulation and short selling to 168% of a float and things of that nature. Have a good weekend, guys.